So if you consistently watch this channel, you know in my tutorials I'm constantly looking for ways to improve my work. So far this year I found 5 effects to help me produce better work and just kind of improve my style. So in this video I want to talk about the 5 effects that I've been using so far for 2021, and hopefully you can use these effects to improve your work as well. Hey, what's going on internet? This is Josh Noel from SonduckFilm. Welcome to our channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hope everyone is doing excellent today. If you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to follow our Instagram. We're posting 1-minute tutorials on there 3 times a week. So if you're ready to improve your work, let's talk about these 5 effects. Let's get started. And before we jump into our tutorial, if you're looking to have unlimited access to millions of templates and assets for your video and After Effects motion graphic projects, be sure to check out Envato Elements with our link below. If you do sign up to Envato Elements, which is a subscription-based platform, you will save 70% off on your first month when signing up with our link in the description of this video. So the first effect we're going to take a look at is the grid effect, and I've shied away from this effect for many years because I always thought it was cheesy, never looked good, but I think I found something that I really like, which adds a little bit more detail to your compositions and it looks nice. Alright, to make this effect work, you gotta go to layer, new, solid, and you can call it grid. One thing you want to do is make the width and height larger than your composition, so go ahead and do that and click OK. Then you go to effect, generate, and you find that cheesy grid effect. There it is. And I don't like it how it is. So first thing we do is come here to the corner point. We set this to width and height sliders. I want to set the width and height to about 130 for both of these. And you get a very nice grid look there. And one thing we need to do is turn this layer into a 3D layer, because that's when I think it looks the best. And you hit R on your keyboard for rotation. And you come here to say the X rotation and set this to 90 degrees. And then you hit P on your keyboard for position. You come here to the Y value and you can bring this down. And beautiful. And what you can do is add a keyframe for anchor. You can move to the end of your composition or animation, and you can just take the X value here and just animate it over. And now we have this very smooth grid effect in here. What we can do to take this even further is take the grid layer, go to edit, duplicate, and you go to layer, transform, and you click on flip horizontal. Just hit P on your keyboard for position, and you can position this to the top. And with the duplicate effect, you can now have something looking really cool. You can add, let's say, an optics compensation to an adjustment layer to help distort the edges a little bit. But overall, I think this is a really cool effect to have in your kit of motion graphics. Alright, so my second favorite effect for this year is something that I would never use in the past, of course, is Posterize time. And what I like about it, it creates some of a stop motion look here. So instead of having a smooth animation, we have something of a jumpy animation. And I used this a little bit last year, and now it's really growing on me to at least throw it to almost everything that I do, just to kind of see what you can get. I don't suggest it for everything, but let me show you how this works. So first things first, you gotta go to layer, new adjustment layer, and you go to effect, time, and you grab Posterize time. Okay, and it starts off at a 24 frame rate, or I think the frame rate of composition, not entirely sure because I always use 24 frames for my comps. Anyway, you can set this to like 12 for example, and instead of having a smooth composition, it's going to be jumpy, and it's a good way to experiment with somewhat of a stop motion look. So we could take this even slower and go down to say 6 if you wanted to. And with 6 frames per second, you get something that you might not want to use, but you can experiment with say 18, 12, and 6 to see what you can get, just to see how it can help blend into your work and help create your style. Alright, the third effect on my list is the simple particles that you see coming towards us here on the screen, and this is created from the CC Starburst effect. I like adding this now, just add a little bit of a nice filler to black compositions with white particles. I think it looks very nice and subtle. So how this works is simple. You go ahead and create a new solid, and you make sure that solid color is white, or you use black or whatever you want to use, but whatever color you pick is going to be the color of the particles. Then you go to effect, simulation, and you're going to grab CC Starburst. Okay. I love this a lot because I also do like the candy, and I make that joke every time I use this effect in the video. But what we'll do is we'll come here to the speed, and we'll set this to 0.10. Alright, and you come here to size, and you can bring the size down, and this will reduce the size of the particles. And simply now we have these star particles, or whatever you want to call them, coming towards us, and it looks really nice. Be sure to use this effect with the noise effect. I always use noise in my compositions to help things stand out even more, so experiment with that as well. And because we got to pay the bills, I want to give a huge shout out to our 1400 Motion Graphics Starter Pack extension right here for After Effects. So this is our Motion Graphics Professionals Pack, which has over 1400 templates right here for After Effects, along with a handful of categories. But one category we'll take a look at is the titles. So what you can do is preview a template before you can apply it, and when you find the right template, you click on apply. And with a click of a button, we have a full title animation inside of our composition. We can go into that comp and quickly change out our titles, and you can easily change colors with a click of a button. And everything will update in our main composition. This animated background is from our Motion Graphics High Tech category, where you can just apply a really cool background. We also have some really cool particle overlays in here as well that you can apply into any After Effects project. So if you're looking to save time, produce awesome work, and have access to one of the largest library of templates you can get your hands on, you can take a look at our pack below. If you pick up anything off our website, you will be supporting our channel, so thank you very much. Alright, this next effect is for those of you who love distortion. However, this is not a distortion effect. You know, what's happening, this melting effect that's happening here, is actually a transitions effect. So we have a really cool title animation from our Motion Graphics Professionals pack. So this effect works great with titles, but you can experiment with anything. So go to Effect, Transition, and you're going to grab CC Scale Wipe right there. Okay, so what's going to happen, and when you have the effect selected, there's going to be an anchor point in the middle of your comp. Take that anchor point and just move it towards the top of your title or logo or whatever you're working with. What you'll do is you come here to direction, set that to 0 degrees, and you come here and increase the stretch. And you can see we really increase that, boom, you get this nice distorted effect. Simply what I'm going to do is right when our title finishes animated in, I'm going to add a keyframe for stretch, move forward maybe by less than a second, and set the stretch to 0. Alright, then what I can do is take this effect and duplicate it, and I'll take down the other anchor point, bring it to the bottom here, and then change the direction to 180 degrees because we're just flipping it to the other side. So now we're going to have this really cool distorted effect on our title, and it just looks really nice. There's a lot of different uses for this, but definitely experiment with this effect if you want to distort something in a really cool stretchy way. Alrighty, our final effect is something that I love using for creating animated backgrounds because there's so many different ways to do it, and you can easily change things up within just 5 seconds worth of time. And this effect is simply called the radio waves effect. I've been using it a lot this year because I love the style of animated backgrounds you can create from it. You go ahead and create a new solid, and you go to Effect, Generate, and you grab Radio Waves. And at the start of the effect, you'll just get these circles animating, totally fine. What you want to do, first of all, what I would do is take the layer and move it forward in your timeline. So therefore, the circles and everything will be fully animated when it starts. Then what you can do is open the polygon settings and start customizing this. Like, you can come here to the size and bring this down to, say, 18. Just experiment with it. Don't take my settings. And come here to curviness. You can set this up to 1. Play with the curve size. There's so much you can do with this effect. But we come here to the stroke, we can change the color to white or whatever color you want. We'll change the color a little bit more advanced in a second. And we can come here to the end and start with and set this up to 13 or whatever number, and I'll make this a little bit thicker. So now we have these lines in here, but by itself, this effect is kind of boring. So what we can do to help enhance this is, first of all, what I would use is go to Effect, Stylize, Glow. I would take this effect and maybe just duplicate it real quick so you have a second glow effect. And I would set the glow radius up to 75. Then I'll go to Effect, Generate, and I would grab a Gradient Ramp. And I would come here and just kind of customize my colors here. So you can grab somewhat of a nice, pinkish magenta color there. Maybe come here and grab like a blue color. So now we have a really cool background in here with the radio waves effect. Be sure to play with the polygon settings and the stroke and all that. You get some really cool stuff when you do play with that. And we have a full tutorial on using this effect. So if you want to check that out, we will drop a link below. So that is our tutorial on these 5 effects. You can use all 5 of these effects for pretty much any project you work on. You can use them together or just one out of this entire video. It's completely up to you. But if you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We post multiple post-production tutorials every single week right here on the channel. You can also hit me up on my social media networks. Those links are below. And always be creating.